Well, first, I've got a little surprise for you.
You're feeling it, aren't you? The survival instinct.
Attention all colonial units. Cylon attack underway.
Nice to have you back with us, Mr. Brubaker. Would you like the same suite?
Well, definitely.
I must confess, I find it difficult to believe in a disease of machinery.
I don't want to know your name. I don't want to know anything about you.
Hello and welcome to the Untitled Sci-fi Show.
Hey, we're doing voices, are we?
Hello.
Well, this is going to be an interesting episode if we all have to speak like this.
I don't know how I'll ever sound like this. Hello, darling. You're right.
Very well, darling. Yes.
Have you had a nice week since the last time I saw you?
Not too bad, thank you. Not got stuck in France this week, so winning.
Hooray! Tune in to the variety show to know what we're talking about.
Find out why Tom was angry about everything.
Yes. So, hello and welcome.
Yes, welcome.
What's happening, dudes? We are talking Jape of the Decade. We are talking April, May, June, July and August fall. Yes, that's right. I am Queeg. What?
No, the cat's already started. We've only just started and the cat's already meowing at you. The dog's already moving microphones
To be
around.
fair, the cat doesn't normally get verbal. It normally just starts bunting the microphone. So this is like a new thing.
Is she meowing at you?
Yeah. She's like, you're not stroking me.
Oh, right, okay.
Your animals love me. I don't know why.
Love you.
I come into this house and I genuinely think, do you not love your pets sometimes?
I'll tell you what, these animals get so much fucking attention.
Because they all swarm me and it's like, you've got to pay attention to me.
You love me. Right, guess the intro. No one got them all right.
Except for me, who did get them all right.
You did get them all right, so you get a shout out. Shout out to Tom.
Yeah.
I did have one entry who got all but one.
Ooh.
So that person doesn't get a shout out.
No, they don't.
Sorry.
Womp.
But they know who they are. So they don't get a shout out. So I'm going to play it and we're going to one by one. You're going to tell me what they are.
Yes, I believe I am. That was very quiet now.
Yeah, so I fiddled with all the fucking dials.
Oh dear, he's been fiddling with his knob
again. The next
again.
one, it'll be louder than the next one.
Right, well that was Close Encounters of the Third Kind by good old Steven Spielberg.
It was. And it's the part where they're trying to communicate and the French dude, you can just hear him at the end going, privet.
It's the moment where they're like, we couldn't get a techno artist, so who can do 5 notes and make it sound like a musical idea?
Yeah. Next.
Layman's terms.
Well, fuck layman's terms. Do you speak English?
Well, that was good old Event Horizon.
It was. Event Horizon's a tough one because there's so many big actors in that. Everyone is a big actor pretty much. And there's a lot of quotable bits and I thought it would be quite easy, so I did try and pick one that wouldn't be.
I mean, you can tell it's Samuel L. Jackson at that point as well, can't you?
What the bit is where scientist guy is explaining the machine in layman's terms, as they say.
That's it. And I mean, it's really difficult. You could have made it even easier because as soon as you hear Sam Neill's voice in it, you know exactly. Yeah, it would have been too easy if you'd done that. It's a great film as well. Great actors in it.
Absolutely.
Every single person cast in that was just gold.
I put that in for Karen's benefit too because she'd just watched it. And I hadn't made the intro yet. So see if she got that. She hasn't said. Next.
Message from aliens results in a magical machine that whisks you away to the center of the galaxy to go windsurfing with dear old dad.
So that was a really weird one. I had to really rack my brain on that. And it's actually the windsurfing with dear old dad bit that basically took me back to where it is. And that's Contact.
That I felt I had to leave that bit in. It's
a weird old film.
Yeah, I had the clip even longer. And I thought if I leave it too long, they'll definitely get it because of the court scene. So Yeah, that was that one.
Hello, Mr. Yakamoto. Welcome back
Now,
to the Gap.
I had only just
How does the
watched
sorted
this
tank tops
film
work out for you?
fairly recently, about 2-3 weeks ago when I was on the train to Kent. And it's quite a key moment of the film because he just got the new eyes. He goes into the Gap and, yeah, you hear it straight away. And it's Minority Report.
I think that was the hardest clip.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just so random.
Possibly.
If you hadn't seen Minority Report, you wouldn't have got it, I don't think.
No, 100%. I think you are right there. If I hadn't seen it recently, I may not have twigged that.
And I couldn't do anything with the wee well poo poo pee pee women in the milky water, as you say.
But can I just make a point about that film very, very quickly?
Mm-hmm.
We have that entire bit where he's getting the eye transplant.
Yeah.
The bloke is literally shouting at him and telling him, I hate you. You got me put in jail, you wanker.
Mm-hmm.
And then does a good job anyway.
I think the point is he knows how horrible Tom Cruise is about to have the next few hours or days or whatever, and he's got that mouldy sandwich in the fridge.
That is grim.
So he's a bit like, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
What's it they called? It's the compliance thing that people say when they're doing it, but they'll do it, but they'll make it shit.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember what the phrase is.
I know what you mean, though. I know. Anyway, sorry, right.
Next that was Minority Report. Next one.
Explain as you would
a child. Galaxy Quest. We've only just watched it, so that was fresh on the mind.
Malicious Compliance, that's what it's called.
Malicious Compliance, yes.
Galaxy Quest, yes.
That's 1 hour for lunch, everybody. I think I'll have
Now,
soup
I
today.
loved the original TV series of this. It's absolutely wonderful. Then they did the film, and I loved the film. Not only because Zoe Deschanel was hot, but the film is amazing. It's just lots and lots of fun. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the
And
Galaxy.
still makes me laugh the whale scene.
We'll get to watching that eventually. It's going to be on the list.
Whizzing past me like, oh, I think I'll call it air. Oh, what's this coming towards me? I wonder if it's nice. Hello there, thunder. It's just so stupid, but wonderful.
It's a wonderful film, isn't it?
It really is.
Dwayne Divley? How can I recall Dwayne Divley? It's true. It's got your photograph, name, address on it and everything.
It started. Sorry, I just pressed record. I just completely didn't tell you.
You're a prick.
Sorry,
sometimes.
I didn't even look up to see what you were doing. You were getting yourself ready.
Well, at least I wasn't tugging myself off. Yeah, hi, hello. Right, we're back.
So, what have you been up to?
Not much. No sci-fi this week, except for obviously Red Dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't had a chance. It's been a busy few kind of days of work and busy family time, so I've not watched anything really sci-fi. I've just been sticking with bog standard kind of YouTube and telly in the background. Otherwise, no, I'm good as gold, really. Been playing more TGC Card Simulator.
Yeah, what day are you on?
I'm only on day 50. There's been like a week where I've not played it, and I've just picked it up for the past couple of days. I think I'm at level 25. I've managed to start selling the dream packs now for the card game. I've expanded the shop a little bit more. It's just really novel, just good fun still, and it's a nice way to kind of lose half an hour, do a couple of days, and then go back to whatever I was doing.
Yeah, I've not played it for probably 4 or 5 days. Been having early nights, which has made me feel wonderful the next day. It's just so unlike me. I'm such a night owl, and that I've always struggled going to sleep. And then I looked at my Fitbit, and it did an average sleep for the last year was 5.5 hours.
Jesus.
I thought I need to probably change that.
That definitely needs to change.
Yeah, I had 2 days. I've not been very well, so I don't get migraines, but fucking hell, I had some bad headaches a few days ago. So one night I went to bed at 9:30, and then the next night I went to bed at 10:30. And I'll tell you what, the next day I felt fucking great. So
it's funny that do more sleep, and you get more energy.
I'm trying to do better at that. Yeah, so that's it. So nothing for you. So we've gone from 45-minute sections of you talking to 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, isn't it? And don't hold it all against me, saying I'm the one that does all that. You also go through that sort of stuff as well. So no,
I do. Yeah, I normally talk too much on your show and ruin the time sheet.
You ruin the time sheet of the variety show. But normally I'll just say, oh yeah, we watched the Aliens film, and then you start the conversation on Aliens. Don't say that I started that one.
I like tangents. I think tangents are good.
I think tangents are fucking brilliant. We are the most tangential podcast out there, if you can use it in that way.
I don't see why not.
No.
Tangential.
Well, we've passed the test, Reimer. You can let us out.
I can't let you out.
Why not?
Because the king of the potato people won't let me.
What have you been up to?
Well, I have watched stuff.
Oh,
Fuck me,
shit.
I've watched stuff. Oh my God. I should have added it to the what makes me angry on yours, but then we would have had an hour-long show of me just ranting. So I've never had so much whiplash from two separate films that I watched this weekend. One on Saturday and one on Sunday. The first one, wonderful, funny, brilliant action film. The second one, one of the shittest sci-fi films I've ever seen.
Uh-oh.
So, the first one, let's get the good stuff over with. Fight or Flight with, whatever the fuck his name is, Josh Hartnett.
Right.
He is, imagine John Wick, but it's a comedy and it's stuck on an aeroplane. That was the film. It was so fun. I'd never heard of it. It just was there on the television and I was like, let's watch it. I've seen some trailers of it. We watched the trailer and yeah, let's watch this. Oh, I'm so glad we did. It was so funny, brutal. Like 1 minute you're laughing and the next minute, instantly you're going, ah, because someone's arm's just been snapped in half. It is so good. I don't really want to say too much because it will spoil it for you.
You know, I think there is much more room for action comedies.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one of my favourite ones, and it's possibly more towards action than it is comedy, but there are fantastic comedic points in it, is a film called Night and Day, which is little Tommy Cruise again. Mm-hmm. And it's just wonderful. It's just so much fun. You can just really enjoy all the action. Then you've got the little bit of comedy thrown in there. And it seems to be one of those categories that, if done well, it's bloody brilliant.
The thing is, the comedy all comes from Josh Hartnett. All the other characters are almost like the straight characters. And he is just funny because he's just a bit of an idiot. And I mean, the film is meant to be funny. It's meant to be. But he is the central comedic pillar to the film. Everything about him and the way he fights. I mean, there's a bit where a chainsaw gets thrown across the fucking plane. It's so good, TJ. I really want you to watch it so we can talk more about it because I don't want to spoil it for you.
But this is why I really want you to watch Snakes on a Plane.
Okay, I have watched it. I just don't remember it.
Oh, how can you forget it?
Yeah. Honestly, anyone listening to this, you go watch Fight or Flight.
Where can they find it right now?
I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. I think that's where we watched it.
I
think that's where we watched it. I can't really remember. It's on a streaming thing.
Okay.
Whatever. Everyone will find it.
I don't know if I've ever brought this up. Justwatch.co.uk. Brilliant webpage. Type your film in and it tells you where you can stream it for free, where you can stream it for the paid version, or if it's just not available in your country at the moment. So it's absolutely brilliant. So it will list it as, it's available on Netflix, you can buy it on Apple TV, you can buy it on Prime, or also there's no free streaming, but you can buy it if you go to YouTube or Google. Really useful.
Before I get onto the shit things, well, I've been watching and listening to a lot of Ren this week, as well as audiobooks. Dungeon Crawler Carl, I'm on the 4th book. Literally just finished it today on the way home. So I'm going to download the 5th one. That's great. Anyone's into audiobooks. Ren stuff. He did this thing called Fire in the Booth.
Yeah, I need to listen to that.
And there's a great lyric in it, right? It goes, condom, large size, fingered your mum in 5 guys. Which is just so funny. I don't know why I find that so funny. It's just really like
Genius.
immature and funny. But yeah, Ren's amazing. Everyone knows what I think about Ren. He's like my musical Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher can pin you down and just take you. Ren can take your ears.
Ren will be the playlist. So I just smacked my face on the microphone. Okay, so what bad thing have I been watching? Fucking Section 31. I'd just like to say the main thing about it is I'm afraid to say it's undone all the goodwill I had for Discovery. That's how much I hated it.
Wow.
That is how much I think this is a bad film.
I mean, I saw the trailer, and I remember sharing this trailer to our studio chat. Oh, shit, it looked bad. You had some bloke walking around in what looked like some sort of half Borg, half mech suit sort of thing, straight out of, oh, we want to do the Avatar kind of big robot walker suit, but we haven't got the budget, so just strap a couple of bits on him and say it's done. You had, I think Michelle Yeoh's the only one that's worthwhile, and I bet you she basically got poorly written for, and because of the story, it kills her character.
If she hadn't just won an Oscar, this is like a career-ending film for somebody. She must have been locked into a contract to do this, and I don't actually know this is true or not, but this is my headcanon. The writers for what's the series called again? I'm so angry, I can't even remember.
Strange New Worlds?
No.
Discovery.
They got fired at season 3, and then they went and wrote fucking this. That's my headcanon. I don't know if that's true. That's all probably a load of bollocks. I'm making it up. But that's my headcanon, because season 4 and 5 are really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Discovery. Great. They cannot be the same people who wrote this. They can't be.
I don't think
it's so bad. Just every part of it was boring. The fight, boring. The story, boring. The acting, boring. I was writing notes. I had 3 lines of notes, and I deleted it.
This is shit.
Because
this
it's
is
just
shit,
like,
this is shit,
why
this is
am I
shit.
even writing notes about this? I don't want to sit here for the next 45 minutes talking about this like I would do other stuff. I thought it was so rubbish. And I'm not saying that because of, everyone jumping on the hate train for Discovery. I've been quite open in the fact that I actually really, really liked season 4 and 5. But this is awful. I encourage you to watch it so you can agree with me.
Right. I will do, just purely so you can agree. I will agree with you, and I know I will, because we are very, very similar in our likes and tastes. I just dialed up on IMDb. It scores out of a 13,000 reviews, 3.8.
Yeah. That's
3
generous.
stars.
That's generous.
That's got too much.
That's
I'm
an
going
argument,
to try and read the first sentences of some of these reviews.
Go on.
2 stars. Absolute rubbish. Seriously, I had high hopes for this movie, but it was a complete waste of time. Unlikable characters, bad acting, blah, blah, blah. 1 star. Not Star Trek. I liked Michelle Yeoh as Jojo on Discovery.
So did I.
But on this, she's a different character completely.
Absolutely.
This isn't Star Trek of any kind. This is Mission Impossible, blah, 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 blah,
No,
blah.
hold on. No, Mission Impossible is brilliant. How can they even remotely compare
No,
this?
sorry. It's also not Mission Impossible in space, as was suggested by one of the cast.
Phew,
Sorry.
phew.
Right. 3 stars. Please stop doing Star Trek. As a massive Star Trek fan, I am deeply disappointed by the continued involvement of Olatunde Unsusanmi in directing Star Trek projects. So, okay, I don't know if there's bad blood from him in the community, but the reviews just go on.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
And on. Wow, as a lifelong Trekkie, I've sat through some bad Trek over the years. I don't even know what this is, but it isn't Trek. Whoever at Paramount approved this needs to be forcibly ejected into the mirror universe. This is bad. It's not Star Trek, and it's certainly not Section 31. I'm pretty sure my title says it all. The title is Barf. B-A-R-F. Not Trek, not even Section 31. I watched it to enjoy it. Seems like others watched it just to hate it. And that's an 8 out of 10.
I didn't watch it to hate it. I watched it because I wanted to watch it.
The worst Star Trek movie ever.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go, this is definitely not Star Trek. It's as though someone decided to describe Star Trek in English tone, a person who only speaks Esperanto, and not very well. That ties in what we're talking about today, Esperanto. I can hear the heads rolling down the Paramount studio corridors as I write this.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 fun space adventure.
Oh, fuck off.
They should have titled it a Section 31 adventure. It was a fun space adventure. It was an event in the life of the former Emperor Giorgio. It had a mix of spy and action filled with a good fun adventure in the 23rd century. It didn't really mess with canon with those that worry about stuff like that, and it centered on work outside the Federation. Oh my God, shut the
ChatGPT has
fuck
entered the
up.
review section.
John Wick in space, 1 out of 10.
That's not
How
John Wick
this
in
mess
space.
ever got the green light is totally beyond me. So 4 out of 10, someone told AI to create Star Trek.
Oh, AI would have done better.
1 out of 10, I might buy the DVD just so I can burn it with fire.
Yeah, as if they're going to waste their finance money on fucking
And the
making
final
DVD.
title, please remove Star Trek from that movie title.
Right, so let's me talk about what was good about it.
It ended.
The end, when the credits finally came up and I could instantly remove it from the screen. No. So, Michelle Yeoh is the only thing that made that even remotely watchable. And this has got to be the worst thing she's ever been in. As I said earlier, she must have been contracted into doing that. And I hope she got paid loads. And hope she can just forget about it and just move on. And it's such a shame because she's great in Odyssey. I keep calling
Discovery.
it Odyssey. Why do I keep calling it Odyssey? In Discovery. She's really good in it. Her character's great in it. And there are parts of this which are quite cool. He has a whole backstory for her. How she became the Emperor in the Mirror Universe is a good plot line and a good idea for an episode of Discovery.
Exactly.
All the rest of it can be removed. And then you would have had a Discovery episode, which would have been a good Discovery episode.
Now, I'm going to say, first of all, this is not putting whatever they're calling this new Recruits series that they're building in a good light.
If it's got any
Because
relation to this, it's going to be fucking awful.
Yeah, because so far how you've described Section 31 is a car crash. And, oh my God, we're coming from the end of the series of Strange New Worlds with the Gorn attacking, they're stuck in the village or the town that they're in, and we're still waiting for this new series. Section 31 comes in and ruins any sort of want to watch Star Trek at the moment from the sound of it. And that's really horrible because Strange New Worlds is doing it right. And like you said, these last two series of Discovery, in your opinion, are really, really good. Therefore...
Yeah.
So why are they risking all of this to do? I don't even know what. I can't even explain what this is meant to be. Is it meant to be comedic Star Trek? Is it meant to be?
It's not funny.
Just the way the trailer put it, you either thought it's going to be, this is kind of the Suicide Squad of Star Trek, is kind of how I took the trailer to be. These people are basically the worst of the worst, and they've just been teamed up as part of Section 31, and they go and do the jobs no one else wants to. That's what I took from it. So I was expecting, okay, maybe we're going to get a little bit of the sort of comedy injected from Lower Decks, maybe. Maybe we'll get a bit of the comedy from Strange New World, but we'll get the writing quality of these last two good seasons of Star Trek we've had. And obviously not. That's really worrying that Paramount are bouncing around like this.
It's more Ocean's 11-y, I suppose, like setting up this supposed grand scheme of how to capture someone at the beginning and going through how they're going to do it, and then suddenly Michelle Yeoh's going, no, we're going to do this way and do it her way. Just every beat of the film was so incredibly predictable. And I'm not very good at predicting shows and stuff. I'm normally surprised by twists. I'm a bit of an idiot when it comes to it. I get so engrossed in the moment, I don't see ahead. I saw fucking everything coming in this because it was so obvious. They literally were telling you what was going to happen before it happened. It's the plot line of just this little character who's like teeny tiny little character controlling like this mech suit thing. Just now, the plot points with that character was so fucking obvious. It was just shit.
Now, I will say this. You said that Michelle Yeoh, as she's a well-established actress, let's face it, it was the three-body problem, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, no, that was...
the film with her and the guy from Indiana Jones both got Oscars for.
No, but
Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's the film that she's been in recently. As well as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, so everything, or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Cucumber, Crazy Rich Asians, Wicked. She's got a back catalogue that is not going to be a problem.
She is a brilliant actress.
Yeah, exactly. So she's not got a problem. Now, can I just point out something, though? And I don't know if we've talked about this before. Do you like Tom Hardy?
I do like Tom Hardy.
Did you know his Star Trek role nearly meant he lost any chance of being an actor?
I think you might have told me that before.
Yeah, so he was in Star Trek Nemesis. He played young clone Picard.
Yeah.
And it bombed so badly, he genuinely struggled to get acting work. And people warned him, don't take that role. He did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it nearly bombed his entire career.
Right.
It was a few years before he really got his big breaks coming in. So it's interesting to see. As you say, Michelle Yeoh, fairly certain she's safe. But if that had been someone else, that could have killed their career.
I think if she didn't have the Oscar and hadn't done, well, I fucking know anything about the film industry, but from my perspective, it's that bad that if she hadn't or got that Oscar and done that film, I think there's another one that she's in that came out. So I don't know the names of the films. If she hadn't done those and this had come out, you wouldn't see her in fucking anything.
No, exactly.
The film is that bad.
Damn. Okay, well, I will add it to my list. I will try and watch it this week, and I will give you a very short rundown in comparison to this as to what my thoughts were on it.
Aside from that, nothing else. I'm just too depressed from it. It's just to say it was so bad, TJ.
Well, let's move on to happy things.
I am Holly, the ship's computer, with an IQ of 6,000. The same IQ as 6,000 PE teachers.
It's cold outside.
Do you want to do Red Dwarf or do you want to do cards?
Oh, yeah. Let's do the cards. You brought a gift
So
for
because
us.
we've been playing TGC Card Simulator, it really part of that game and part of the thing that I really like is not only that you build your shop, is that you've got these card packs on the table, blister packs, just like Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And you can open them and all the cards are their own game. And they've obviously put a lot of thought into it because all the cards are different. You've got I think it's over nearly 1,000 to collect on the cards in the game. And I thought, you know what? I haven't opened a blister pack of cards. Are you ready for this? Since Magic the Gathering, and I would have said that would have been 1999, early 2000s, I haven't opened a card blister pack like these in years. So I stopped by Aldi on the way over. They've got some cheap Pokemon cards going. I thought we should open them and see if we get any foils.
Cool. So
Is it still foils that are cool?
I guess so. It's like full art ones they do now as well. So this is it's got 3 closed packs and a single open card. So I've got an Arcanine on mine. I've got like a shiny Arcanine.
I have
foil,
a
that's called
Dondozo with a nice shiny foil outside. It's glittery. I mean, for me, it was always I wanted the special cards. So the ones that were shiny, just like the stickers in the old Panini sticker albums. I always wanted the shiny sticker.
So what they do nowadays is that they give you codes so you can add them to the trading card game.
Oh, okay.
Not to the one I play on my phone, but to the old one that you used to have. I used to play. I don't play anymore.
Ah, fair enough.
So you don't get this exact. That might be for this card, but it'll like give you like a pack to open. And you'll get different cards inside it.
This Pokemon is a glutton, but it's bad at getting food. It teams up with Tatsuguri to catch prey. Great. Means fuck all to me.
Are you reading that right at the bottom?
Yeah, bottom right corner.
Fucking hell. Are they magnifying glasses, those glasses?
No, they stop me from being blind.
An ancient... Oh, fucking hell, I can't read that.
Okay, an ancient picture scroll shows that people were captivated by its movement as it ran through prairies. Can I point out you might need glasses?
Yeah, maybe. I think maybe if the light was bright, I might be able to... I cannot read that.
Now, interesting. I was reading online. Is there a way?
I'll be the judge of that. I'll be the judge if that's interesting or not.
I put down online earlier. Is there a way to tell if a pack has a rare card in it or not? And there's an entire database dedicated now to all the different blister packs and the likelihood of them having a hologram card versus a non-hologram card, and they've got the weight ranges for the packs.
I was going to say, it must be weight.
It's all by weight. It's the amount of depth people go into these. I mean, watching there's a couple of people on TikTok that pop up, opening up packets to see what they get.
So there's a way you're meant to do it. You're meant to like move like a top card to the back or something. It puts it in a different order, but I don't remember what it is.
No, well, I don't care. So
right, what have I got
I've
here?
opened up my first pack. How many cards do you? Oh, you get.
Got 10 in here.
Oh, you do get a generous amount of cards then. So I think Magic the Gathering used to get 6 cards, and that was kind of it.
I've got like ones that are a bit shiny.
Oh, well, I've got a shiny one.
So she said.
Right, I've got a bog standard, basic, and energy. Oh, I've got a couple. Are they just all going to be shiny?
I've got like some that have got like glossiness to them, and then like weird holographic patterns.
Right, the ones that don't have any sort of holographic pattern, I'm going to ignore. I've got one that's called Florges, and that's kind of a hologram pattern-y one. I've got one called Toxtricity, which again I think is rather cool, and a hologram-y one. And then I've got Cloth, which is kind of a shiny hologram-y one as well.
Well, I've got the cutest thing ever. It's a little pig called Lechonk.
Lechonk.
You see how up to date we are on Pokemon, isn't it? I've got something called a Floret. That's kind of a little bit shiny. Oh, this guy looks cool.
I've got that one. Oh, no, I've got the Florges.
This guy, Coradon. Oh, he's the bike. Yeah, he's the bike thing from the game.
There's a bike thing?
So these are... So yeah, Scarlet and Violet. He's this guy. He's him. There's the legendary... You know, each one has a legendary Pokemon, doesn't it?
Oh,
he's the one from the Scarlet one.
Right,
You
okay.
have you ride around a Pokemon who's also a motorbike.
Oh, look, I've got Floette, but not the special one.
Oh, has it got the same cards in? Got the same cards.
That's a boring one.
Boring one.
I don't know. I don't know if these are... Yeah, I guess those are special. Oh, and I've got what I consider a boring one. Professor's Research. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards. And that's a kind of shiny one. I have a Croagunk.
Oh, cool.
Which is kind of shiny, I guess. And a Drifloon.
So I've got a Chloritzer, a Whizzle that looks kind of like a weasel or a ferret or something. And we know this one, Slowbro.
Oh, yeah, Slowbro. Now, if I get a chance this week, I will jump online and I will put all of the ones I've got through and see if any of them are worth anything.
I've got the app on my phone.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, because I went through my old ones.
Oh, we'll have to do that at some point then and see if any of these are worth anything. It would be funny if we suddenly pull a card that's worth a good chunk
we don't know.
of money.
There was somebody listening going, oh my God, he's got the Diffloom.
Yeah, why is he ripping it up?
What are you doing, you fucking idiot?
Oh, right. Okay, so there seems to always be at least three kind of hologram-y ones. And this time I've got a Grievard, which looks straight up out of kind of a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
It does. It's like an evil dog.
Riolu. And this one looks quite funky. Horlucha.
So I've got the Miradon, which is the other bike. So I've got both of the legendary bikes.
Nice.
Which is quite cool.
And
then
they're
I've
on the
got,
shiny cards.
Yeah, Sandile. It's like a weird little crocodile thing. And then a Cyclizar. A basic Cyclizar. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's got some shiny things.
I can understand why people kind of get addicted to things like this now. For me, if it had stayed as it was with the original kind of Pokemons and stuff like that, it would have been, I would have quite enjoyed that, especially if you can you still buy the basic blisters of the original game?
I imagine you can. I don't know if it might be really expensive.
Yeah, I just genuinely don't know. But if you can, then brilliant, I will. But it kind of feels like there's so many different blister packs and different games now. I mean, can all of these cards be played in the same game as each other
Yeah, I
now?
think so. I think they can.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little bit better then, because I was just assuming that because they're so different, it's not the case. Right, so people are trying to get for at least... oh, no, that's different artwork on mine. Okay, so it's not that one.
You're just looking at whether one's worth
I'm just having a quick look to see if there's one that is for sale that actually matches mine. And, oh, wow. Okay, well, my card is selling on eBay. Bear in mind, this is selling. It's not sold.
Mm-hmm.
£47.52.
Well, that's all right. That's paid for it. You get that on eBay. Off you go.
So, yeah, if I stick it in at 20 quid, that'll piss this seller off.
I'll tell you what, let's...
should we...
Let's have a competition to who's got the most value in there. They won't do it right now.
Have you got an eBay account?
Yeah, I've got an eBay account.
eBay's now free to list. For normal users, it's all free to list now. Let's see who can make the most money out of the Pokemon cards.
Don't sell our cards.
Brilliant. Oh, wow.
Competition
I like that.
time. Right, okay.
Okay, we'll keep those safe. I'm going to go and buy some penny packs for them and wrap them all up nicely. Like fuck.
Fucking hell. Hurry up, nerds.
All right, everyone. So we've just gone through Rare Candy and scanned all of our shiny ones, and it gives us a value. So mine has come to a total amazing value of $1.80. So do you beat $1.80?
No. So out of the special ones we scanned, I scanned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is there 10 there? Yeah, I've scanned 10 special cards.
Yeah, I've got 10.
I think... Oh, hang on.
You can click it to make it the same
realised,
one.
yeah, I'm making sure they are all set to Scarlet and Violet, because that's what this is. Oh, God, that's actually taking it down.
Yeah, I did that. I changed one to what it was meant to be, and it took it down from like 12p to 6p.
$1.11 allegedly.
Excuse me, winner.
So the one that someone's trying to sell for 50 quid on YouTube, on eBay, is 12 cents.
Oh dear.
But I don't know. Can you trust this, or is this?
This is like an official valuing thing, I think.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. That guy's.
And what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to very quickly scan just a really random card. You know, one of the cards that we didn't consider special, just to see.
Like a trainer card.
Yeah. So this is not even a foil one. So all the cards
that's a trainer card. It's like a person.
Oh, right. Yeah, 11 cents. So exactly the same value as pretty much all of the foil cards that I got in that pack.
That's upset you, hasn't it?
It's not upset me. It's just, it's so weird seeing people trying to sell stuff on eBay for 50 quid. Yet the official marketplace, that's just weird.
Well, that's fun. Thank you.
Howdy doodly do. How's it going? I'm Talkie. Talkie Toaster, your chirpy breakfast companion. Talkie's the name, toasting's the game. Anyone like any toast?
Yay.
Right, you can say it now.
It's cold outside.
No kind of atmosphere.
It's all alone.
More or less. Anyway, Red Dwarf.
Yay. Oh, God.
Now, if this had been a Disney show, there would have been at the beginning of it, this show does not reflect the current thoughts of the generation.
Well, it did give you a load of fucking stuff, though, on the iPlayer. Where did you watch it, the iPlayer?
iPlayer, but as I did it on the Apple TV, and I just did it from the Apple TV main screen, I didn't get any of
the
that.
app
It just
gave
goes
me
straight.
Loads of fucking bollocks to click through. But maybe it's because I hadn't used the iPlayer on this phone yet. Maybe that's why.
Okay, no, fair enough. No bollocks for when I watched it.
I was texting Adam, lightly used, a little bit before I watched these. And I was saying to him, oh, God, I just need something to get, I need something to just rebring my, what was the word I used? trust or whatever in sci-fi after watching fucking Section 31.
Yeah.
The Red Dwarf was going to be like my saviour, and fuck it was. Oh God, I watched it on my lunch breaks today, both episodes. Oh God, they're so good. I love Red Dwarf. It's so funny.
For those of you that don't know who or what Red Dwarf is, which I'd find very hard to believe if you didn't, but possibly if you aren't a UK person, I know the US did get a version of Red Dwarf. They tried to remake it with US acts, and it was an absolute abject failure. Red Dwarf is a 1988 BBC TV show. It's a sci-fi comedy about the last man in the human race, basically. And the stories that follow after that. Interestingly, I'm just looking at IMDb. I've got to stop saying interestingly all the fucking time.
Do you? I have noticed.
I do. Artificial intelligence, dark comedy, high concept comedy.
High concept?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Satire, yeah. Sitcom, slapstick, space sci-fi, comedy sci-fi. Those I agree. High concept sci-fi comedy. No.
No, not really.
There's a man pretending to be a humanoid cat. High concept.
Yeah, there's a robot with a Hoover attachment for a cock. High concept.
Only from season 2.
Oh, yeah, because it's a different actor, isn't it, Crichton? The first one.
The very first one's different, and then, it comes back as, what's his face, who from Scrap Heap Challenge?
Robert Llewellyn.
Robert Llewellyn, that's the one. First of all, massive love for Red Dwarf. Maybe not the modern stuff. I haven't watched the super modern stuff. Series 1 through to about 6 are absolutely wonderful in my books. Season 7 for me is when it starts to get a little bit ropey. That's when they lose Red Dwarf. Then we had the Made for Dave series, I think, where Red Dwarf comes back and they're imprisoned on Red Dwarf, and that all gets sorted out. And then it's not terrible. It's just not the standard that the others were.
Yeah.
And I've not seen any of the really, really new Red Dwarf because I just fear that they're just a bit like Top Gear. Old men trying to do something that should have died a while ago.
Yeah.
Because it's just not allowed to be the same, or it won't do the same things that they used to.
Yeah, I haven't watched the newest stuff either. I was on the iPlayer looking through. There's fucking a lot of series there. And they've got like a 80-odd minute special as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when that was. I think I have seen that, but...
That's the one I think I bought on Amazon Prime because there was nowhere else to watch it after they aired it on Dave. And it's back to Earth. And that's where like Craig Charles gets mistaken for his Coronation Street character, I think it is, or Emmerdale, whatever he's in. So he gets mistaken for that character at one point, and all of this. It was a bit weird. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't.
So
it wasn't the quality it should have been.
That's only funny at that period in time.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it? That's not like that. Really dates it.
But what would have been funnier? Aren't you the bloke from Robot Wars?
Yeah, that would have been better.
That would have been funnier.
Yeah, that would have been better, to be fair.
Because
more people would know from
the
that,
show.
I think.
No, but even if they didn't, Robot Wars was dated at that point anyway. So actually, it's funny that he's being remembered from a really old show, and he's in a really, really, really old show. That would have worked better. Whereas he's like being this current actor instead, and a soap opera. Just for me, it just didn't gel. I
think,
guess.
yeah, if you think about it, like say someone in America who watched this, seems unlikely, but if they did, they had their own Robot Wars, so they'd get a little bit of a reference, even though they wouldn't know who Craig Charles was. Whereas Emmerdale, they probably never heard of.
No,
if it's
true.
Emmerdale, I'm not sure. Emmerdale or Coronation Street is one of those two, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those two.
I sent a text to you earlier, a voice note.
You did.
As we do. Do you know what I was on about?
Vaguely, I'm pretty sure.
So there's a joke in both of these, and I don't know if we just happened to be quote-unquote unlucky with the ones we chose. I think we chose two of the best episodes. At least two of our favourite. I'm glad we chose them.
We did.
But there's two jokes about Jewish people. One about circumcisions in the polymorph one, and then one about, I didn't really actually get the joke, but it was about Jewish people and teeth. I'm not sure what the joke was, but it was definitely an anti-Semitic joke. Both times made by the cat.
Yes, that's
now,
true.
Was that a comedy of the time that people did a lot of jokes about Jewish religion, or is it just Red Dwarf did it, or did we just happen to fall upon 2 episodes? Because there was no other jokes about anything else outside of the show.
I think you're thinking about it too much, and I think possibly this is the problem when you see so many warnings on things about this was created in X date and therefore it doesn't represent the current thoughts and trends of things. The polymorph episode, he basically says, this is a scalpel. He's like, yeah, well, it's all been sterilized. This could have been used for a Jewish procedure. Just talking about circumcision, I don't think there's anything negative. There's no negative connotation behind that.
No, it's not. It's just a funny joke. I just noticed it.
They could have said anything, but this is the point, isn't it? We didn't notice it back then because they just that was the joke they landed on. The joke could have been, this could have been used to remove someone's appendix. This could have been used to do a tummy tuck on someone, so it could have been anything.
Is funnier.
But I think the funny thing is you're talking about cock.
Yeah,
You're talking about a cock. So what procedures are there that revolve around that and that? Circumcision comes around. So I don't necessarily think that was aimed at a Jewish kind of thing. As for the Back to Reality one, I'm trying to actually remember what the exact quote is. I know that they regularly make fun of, I know, again, polymorph, don't fuck around with, well, not don't fuck around with, they don't use that sort of language, but don't mess around with something that's got more teeth than the Osmond family is a brilliant line. But that's all that's stuck in my head now. I cannot think of the Back to Reality line.
It's when they're looking, they're out of the VR and they are sat there figuring out who they are with their suitcases.
Dwayne Dibbler. I don't want to be Dwayne Dibbler.
Dwayne Dibbler.
You've got to do it with your teeth out as well. Dwayne Dibbler.
That's how you do the voice. And
it is.
And it is Dwayne Dibbler. He's there and he's like looking through his bag at what clothes he's going to be given. Like Craig Charles just handing the bag or something. It's that moment and he just says something that's...
So I've got, what the hell happened to my teeth? I could open beer bottles with my overbite. No, I don't want to be Dwayne Dibley. We could all put our heads together and the bullet could go down the line. Brilliant line on that one.
I've been surprised. It's just IMDb quotes for the episode.
Oh, no, right. Okay, so do you mean... So this is really me, a no-style Gimbo with the teeth the Druids could use as a place for worship?
Oh, he says Druids. I thought he says Jewish.
No, he says Druids because he's talking about them.
That's why I didn't get the
Stonehenge.
joke. Oh, let's just take back everything I've said then.
So, what we now realise is Rob is anti-Semitic because he hears Jewish everywhere.
I'm the problem.
Jewish.
It's me. I'm the problem. Of course. Everyone's been telling me all these years I'm the problem, and now I finally realise.
No, but it's so easy to overhear something than overthink it. And I think that is part of the conditioning that's sort of been happening to all of us because you've got to be so careful with what you say now, in case you do upset someone.
Yeah, but I didn't then go on fucking X and start ranting and raving and saying that Red Dwarf is anti-Semitic propaganda and that they're all fucking Nazis.
No.
That's the difference.
No, that is the difference. Absolutely it is. But you can understand why people start to err about things they hear, especially if it's easily misheard. I can see where you're coming from because especially as he's speaking like this with his teeth out.
Oh, it sounded like Jewish.
Yeah, I can understand that. But
I think if I wouldn't have thought anything about it if I hadn't just watched the other episode, because when I watched the other one and heard the joke, it's funny because it's cutting someone's cock off, and I thought nothing of it. It was then because I then thought I heard it in the second one. I thought, hang on, 2 episodes, 2 Jew jokes. That's a coincidence.
Right, well, let's move on from that. What do you want to do first? Do you want to talk about...
Polymorph. I watched Polymorph first.
Should we talk about the show first, or should we just talk about the episodes?
I just talk about the episodes that we watched, what we like about them, and the show in general, really. It doesn't have to be anything.
So, Polymorph, Season 3, Episode 5, I want to say.
It was 3, 3. 3, 3,
3, sorry, right. So... it's one of my all-time favourite shows. Now, Red Dwarf, I grew up watching. I'm not quite sure Mum should have let me watch these, but I did. Now, obviously, season 3 is 1989. Was released 28th of November, according to IMDb. So I wouldn't have watched it the first time round. I would have been 5 years old. So I was watching it early 90s. And I would have said about 93, 94. So I was coming up to like 10 years old. And these are just some of my favourite memories of my oldest brother having these on VHS and stealing from the room, putting them downstairs, and just watching those 3 episodes. I think they actually managed to get 4 episodes on the tape, actually. 4 episodes or 3 episodes on the cassette and just watching them back to back. And they were just the comedy was absolutely me. And it's interesting in comparison to a lot of the comedies, some earlier than this, granted, how well this stands up still for me. So Red Dwarf, I've gone back and I've watched, and I love it. And I laughed, and I couldn't take my eyes off it, and I enjoyed it. I know this is personal opinion. Growing up, I loved Dad's Army, and I loved 40 Towers. I cannot watch either of them anymore. Dad's Army, I want to literally stab Corporal Jones in the face with his bayonet. I know they don't fucking like it up 'em, mate, and I'm going to shove this so far up you that you won't like it up you. As a kid, I don't think I realised how annoying a cunting character he is. But it's too much for me. I cannot watch it anymore. And the same with 40 Towers. I get very much, as a kid, I loved it. I thought it was funny. I didn't get the cringe factor that was there. And very much like The Office, it's too close to the bone for me. And I get too cringy. Oh my God, I can't believe he's doing this sort of thing. That puts me off wanting to watch it. Whereas Red Dwarf doesn't have any of that. I could watch it back then. I can watch it now. And I love it just the same.
I watched it when I was younger, and I think my dad was just like, it's just stupid, whatever. It's just one of those things, just let me watch.
Yeah, I mean, the worst word you're going to hear from that is smeg.
Yeah, that's why I can't look at those fridges.
Yes!
Yeah, it's that exact thing. Whenever I see them in people's houses, I'm like, that's funny.
It's a lot of innocence, but a lot of... I think dark comedy is quite an apt word for it, actually. I think that suits it. And coming into kind of polymorph, I mean, it's quite obvious that they had a lot of fun with this. More fun than some of the other episodes for the early series, at least. You've quite obviously got the alien references, the polymorph with an extending inner jaw.
Yeah.
Everything about it being from Earth because they're trying to create the ultimate warrior creature thing. All of the little alien references to it. But it's a beautiful model as well. It might be badly green screen, it might be badly dubbed in, but it's a great looking fucking monster.
As they call it, the 8-foot armor-plated killing machine is what they call it.
But it just opens so nicely as well. So you've just got this floating pod. And again, because it's a model, it just looks super good. And it's just like, extreme caution, do not approach.
Yeah.
Everything about it was just really, really nice.
I enjoyed the microwave where he was just chucking all the ingredients in and press a button and then suddenly he had a meal that come out of it. I like that.
Yeah. Did you notice it turns itself into a kebab on the plate? Then they go out and then they come back in and Crichton walks in. He's only got one kebab on the plate.
Because he's eaten one. Because he's telling you how nice it tastes.
Has he eaten one? Is that the point of it?
He says that it tastes amazing, and I think the implication was he's eaten one and he's got one left.
Right, okay. Because I just kind of gone for the idea that actually, you know what, it's just a mistake. They filmed it in a particular order and they hadn't put the second one on there because obviously you needed the one that was not, well, technically an animatronic. It was an animatronic sausage kebab.
It looked like a turd.
It did look like a turd. It didn't look like anything like a kebab that I've ever seen.
No.
But maybe a kofta, but even then, crikey. I do love the fact that it just throws everything in the microwave, and then quite clearly someone has thrown something in it as he opens it.
You almost see them put it there, don't you?
As it's still bouncing from being put down.
And they haven't cleaned the microwave either.
No,
they just didn't fucking bother.
That's the wonderful thing. It's just done on the chip, and it works. It's funnier.
Was it actually filmed in front of an audience? Because I thought I'd read somewhere that it was.
I believe it was, and well, the very top trivia point here, the studio audience laughed so long during the scene in which the polymorph morphs into Lister's boxer shorts that Chris Barry had to wait several minutes to say his line. It took more time than usual for the editors to put the scene together due to the long laughter. So
yeah, it looks like Robert Llewellyn's fucking him on the floor.
Yes, it isn't. I guess it is nice. It's not canned laughter. I'm sure there is canned laughter used at points.
Some of it probably is for airing.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not laugh at the alphabeti spaghetti?
Yeah, that's when they're talking about
his mum's shagging Lister.
What he can do with spaghetti.
It's just absolutely brilliant. It's just really hard to really talk about as an episode because to give the idea of the premise for people that haven't seen Polymorph, then there's this rotating toxic waste
pod
genetic waste pod thing. Something's burst out of it, and we basically see a little version of it again, straight up out of Alien, as if it's the chest burster going around, and it can turn into anything. We've got that it turns up in the quarters, it sucks out Lister's fear. It
feeds on negative emotions.
It feeds on, negative emotions. So it stills Lister's fear. They then go around looking for it. It then sucks out
Crichton's guilt.
Is it Crichton's guilt first, or it's the cat first?
The
it
cat's
sucks out
vanity.
Cat's vanity.
Yeah.
Then it takes Crichton's fear. Guilt, sorry. And then eventually it takes Rimmer's what is it in Rimmer?
His anger.
His anger, that's it.
He becomes that hippie.
And they manage to still destroy it, working as a team, and then their emotions come back. But that is the premise of the entire thing. It's them versus this giant 8-foot armor-plated alien. And then you get the idea at the very end that there's a second one.
Yeah, the capsule spins round. It says ×2 written on the capsule.
And then you get 2 Listers walk past.
2 Listers walk past, yeah.
Just a nice little ending, and it doesn't ever need to be referenced again, which they never do. I mean,
there's a Polymorph 2.
There is a Polymorph 2, but it's not strictly Polymorph. It's and again, that kind of pissed me off when they did that, because it's like, you called it Polymorph 2, but I think it's the emo hawk is the creature in it. And it's like, hang on a moment. The Polymorph episode was called Polymorph because that was what was created in the pod. This is just an alien creature. Don't call it Polymorph. Just leave it alone. It's not a sequel in any way.
So I've got some trivia for you, question for you.
Oh, go for it.
So when Rimmer's had his anger taken out, and he's sat there doing the round table explaining everything, and he wants to create a team of people.
Yes.
When the signs don't work and the T-shirts don't work and all the other stuff. Can you remember what the committee's called and what it's...
I know it spells clitoris.
It spells clitoris. Would you like me to tell you what it is?
Yes, please.
The Committee for the Liberation and Integration of Terrifying Organisms and Their Rehabilitation into Society.
Yeah, that's it.
And he was saying, the problem is that it abbreviates to clitoris, which is a really good joke.
It's just wonderful, isn't it? The fact that they can say it so straight-faced as well.
He gets some really difficult lines. Like, he has to say that whole thing.
Yeah, 100%.
I think as an actor saying lines, he has some difficult ones in that episode.
Right, so hang on. So just looking up here. So I was right. It's called Emo Hawk Polymorph 2, 4th episode of season 6. And it's when they basically, Lister ends up marrying a Guelph Legion tribe's daughter.
Oh, yeah, I know the episode.
Yeah. And it's got here.
Oh, well, yeah, she changes.
Angered at their actions, upsetting his daughter, the chief sends his pet a domesticated polymorph. And it's like, no.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
The whole point of polymorph
was... They're snogging it.
Yes, that is it. It annoys me because it was a genetic... I mean, obviously, where did we get the... anyway, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Season 6 is where I think it does slowly start go downhill anyway. So we'll talk about that later. But any other trivia questions you want to ask me?
No, that was the only one. No, actually, okay. Crichton's cock attachment.
Yeah.
Can you remember what it can be used as?
A whisk.
That's an egg whisk, yeah.
Vacuum cleaner.
Yep.
Oh.
3 others he mentions, specifically mentions, yeah.
Oh, shit. I know he's a power attachment. It's... No, go on, tell me.
A buzzsaw.
Yeah.
Power drill.
Oh, it was a power drill.
And hedge trimmer.
Yeah.
I like just like no one wants to have the omelettes he makes with his egg whisk.
Yeah. I mean, would have been quite funny if he said like a hair trimmer.
Yeah.
Imagine stood behind you just going...
Yeah. And he calls it his groinal socket.
Groinal socket, yes.
Yeah.
And you get reference to that when I think it's a later season. I think it's called Human, and it's the one where they come across again, it's a human spaceship, and it's got a genetic manipulator on board, and it turns Crichton human, and it creates a curry monster. And Lister ends up as like half human, half RoboCop, but he's really, really short. He's really, really tiny. Very funny episode, and he's saying to, is this normal? And he's looking through an appliance, and he shows him a double Polaroid of a giant cock piece. And that's the joke to it. That's the entire joke. It's like, is this normal? No, it's not normal looking at an appliance magazine and you getting a double Polaroid.
But yeah, anyway, Polymorph, that's a good one.
It is a really good one. I wouldn't suggest it was one that you start with.
No.
I would actually say with Red Dwarf, it is best just to watch it in order. The only ongoing story is that he's the last human. But if you want the canon and the reason why they're there, absolutely watch the first season, watch the first 6 episodes, then any of the season afterwards, between, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, it doesn't matter what order you watch them in, really, in my opinion, because none of those stories affect each other.
Yeah.
In season 1, it's very much serial. You've got to follow it in the right order. And maybe even season 2 to an extent. But the rest of them, you can just watch them in any order and you'll still have fun with them.
Yeah.
But that first season, at least, gives you the canon, the history, why and what has happened
who they all
to
are.
get to this point. And explains the characters a bit more.
Exactly. So the next one was season 5, episode 6, Back to Reality.
Back to life. No, sorry, that's something else.
I was thinking that in my head too. So this one is I don't think they explain why they're there, but they're in Starbug and they've landed on the floor of this ocean planet investigating this crashed ship or something. And everyone in there has committed suicide.
Yeah, so season 5 is the start of when we kind of move away from... Oh, sorry, the episode was called DNA, not Human. No, that's the next season.
Oh.
So season 5 is when it starts more and more that they are basing it off Red Dwarf, and they are literally almost every episode going somewhere different. So looking here, you've got episode 1 of season 5 was Hollow Ship. So it's pretty much all around Starbug and Rimmer being on the Hollow Ship. Then you've got the episode called The Inquisitor, which is where they go to the prison. They go to the prison and they get decided whether or not they should be... Oh, actually, no. Is that the one? I thought very much that Inquisitor one was the one where they end up on the prison ship and they've got... I'm a bit lost now. I'll have to read up on that one again. But then Terraform, they're on the planet where Crichton's been broken into pieces and Lister fixes him. And it's all based on Rimmer's emotions again, that the planet is based on Rimmer's horrible part of his brain. You've got Quarantine, which is mainly Red Dwarf, but they start off on the planet looking for the Doctor and the virus. And it almost kind of comes across that this season they're exploring and looking for something.
Yeah.
And in fact, then we get to season 5, Demons and Angels, and that's the one where they split Red Dwarf into 3, and they've got to work out which is the right Red Dwarf. They've got the white Red Dwarf where everything is perfect, the Red Dwarf where everything is absolutely rotten, because they're that was it. They're trying to extend their food supply. They're trying to clone the strawberries, if I remember right. And then you get back to reality, and you're right. No explanation why, but again, they're searching for something. They've come across another ship that's at the bottom of an ocean, and it suddenly becomes that they've been playing a game.
Yeah, and there's a haddock that's committed suicide by closing his gills.
Yeah, that again, it's stupid, but really, really funny.
Yeah, and then they get them. Then they kind of, while they're in their starbug, a giant octopus or something is coming to
the despair squid.
The despair squid. That's it. And then suddenly they wake up, and actually it's all been virtual reality, and they are these other people. They've been in there for 4 years. Can you remember what everyone's name is?
No.
Okay, so you got Dwayne Dibley.
You got Dwayne Dibley, yeah.
Crichton is called Jack Bullet.
Part of the cyber, which that's traffic, isn't it?
Yeah, detective in the cybernautic division.
Cybernautic division, which turns out to be traffic.
Which is just traffic. And you've got Billy Doyle.
Yes.
And you've got Sebastian Doyle.
That's it. Sebastian's listed, and he's the rich one. And Rimmer's one's his poor brother.
Sebastian Doyle, he's a section chief of CGI, the head of the Ministry of Alteration, the voter colonel. There you go. That was his full title.
Yes,
so he's
that
like
was it. And
basically the head man from 1984, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of a... Oh,
sorry, my
right there. You're just gonna watch something.
Yeah, sorry.
That probably won't get picked up. To be fair,
it won't do. It won't do. I'm still trying to find out what that bloody prison episode is now. I don't know which series it is. It's really not. Oh, it's Justice, and it's season 4. There you go. That's it. So ignore me a little bit there. So the Inquisitor is the one where you've got the bloke with the giant kind of very cool skull helmet on, and he goes around removing you from history if he decides that you're just not worthwhile.
So we get a cameo in this from Timothy Spall, who is a very big actor.
Alvida St. Pet and a lot
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
And lots of other things. He's in loads of stuff.
He's been in so much.
He's in loads of stuff. And he is the guy, he's like the engineer in the VR room, isn't it? And he's basically just telling them all the things that they should have been doing in the Red Dwarf game.
Yeah. How long did it take you to work out Rimmer then? Oh, I had him straight away.
Yeah.
Did you? It's just like, no. Oh, shit. And yeah, you realise, I love it as well. So for anyone that's ever played a ZX Spectrum game or Commodore 64 version of The Hobbit, at the end of the game, they've got down in the bottom left-hand corner, it's like, score 4%. Yeah. And at the end of The Hobbit, I could never get past it. It's like, you've completed X% of this adventure. And it's like, oh, that's such a nice little touch. But the fact that they've been playing it for 4 years and they've managed to complete 4%.
Yeah, it's a really nice touch. And one of my actual favourite bits of the episode is right at the end where you see them hallucinating on Starbug.
The car scene.
And the car scene, you actually see Lister nearly laugh.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, it looks like Craig Charles is laughing, and he quickly moves on to the next bit.
Well, I do wonder, there's also a bit when they first set off in the car and he throws himself back and rocks. It almost looks like he's gone too far.
Yeah, that's the bit I'm talking about.
And I think that's the bit that makes him laugh, because he then tilts himself back.
Yeah.
And they change to a different angle. And it's like, yeah, they go back to actually what's going on in the reality. But I do wonder if he just broke out laughing.
Whenever you see those compilation shows on like Channel 4 late at night going, 1995, people were watching this, number 10 is this, number 8 and 9 is this. And Red Dwarf will come on to one of these things. They always show that scene of them pretending to drive the car and stuff. I don't know why. This seems like a really replayed scene when people talk about Red Dwarf.
No, very interestingly, Polymorph scored 8.8 on
You're
user
saying
reviews.
Interesting again. I'm telling you, I'm the judge of whether you are being interesting or not.
Right. Polymorph.
Valencio.
He isn't.
User reviews 8.8. This gets a 9.3.
Nice. It was a great episode.
It is a great episode. It's also the final episode that Hattie Hadridge as Holly appears.
Last?
Yep. Apparently not until then. She came back till series 7. And I'm just reading the facts here. Doug Naylor expressed guilt over the fact that her role was often little more than a couple of lines. So, disappeared off until season 7. But that's the weird bit, because they get Holly back at one point in either the next season, and it's, I can't think of his name now.
You get the
Norman
bloke back.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
The original Holly back. So, yeah, it's a bit sad actually, because I like both Hollys. I don't know which one I would say I prefer. I think I do prefer the original male Holly.
Yeah, probably only because it was the original. And maybe because they gave him more lines.
Well, exactly. He got more kind of storylines. I mean, there's an entire episode based around him, Queeg, when he gets replaced, and it just turns out to be a big April Fool. But this has I can understand why this episode gets a lot of love. There's a lot of kind of throwbacks as well. So the throwbacks when Timothy Spall says, oh, well, Rimmer knows, or was meant to know Esperanto. The name of the ship was the SS Esperanto. You should have got that as a clue. Should we?
Yeah.
And yeah, you find out about the Esperanto early on, and it's because he struggles to learn it. He can't learn it, and he's useless at it. He's been learning it God knows how many years and still can't. That's the joke. So it's nice to see little kind of throwbacks. First appearance of Dwayne Dibley. Now, I would argue, is it? Because actually the polymorph one was very similar to Dwayne Dibley.
No, but the polymorph one,
teeth,
he's just run down drunk.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, yeah.
So that's the first time Dwayne Dibley. Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose, because that's when he finds out his name is Dwayne Dibley, isn't it? It's not like he goes, oh, I'm Dwayne Dibley, oh my God. Because he finds out that's his name, isn't it?
True. Oh, I like this. Although the budget for the series had increased, certain sets were still able to do double for different scenes. The corridors of Hollow Ship from the episode of the same name were grunged down and made up for the artificial reality suites. I like that, though. I don't see any problem with that. I like those sort of things.
Didn't notice.
Well, you just don't, because set people are brilliant. Well,
plus as well, you're focusing on what's happening as well, because it's just engaging. The acting's engaging. The writing's engaging. It's,
Now, so the despair squid is what's caused all of this hallucination.
Yes.
Do you think the writers wrote in that they thought it was a VR game because previously they had played, I think it must be season 2, the VR game Better Than Life in the very early series, where they get sent their new video, the post finally arrives, and they play Better Than Life, which is a VR game where it, as advertised, people spend their lives in it because it's this realised full kind of, you have the life that you want.
I don't remember the episode, if I'm honest.
Oh, really? It's a great episode, and Rimmer ruins it as always. So yeah, Lister's going around, he's like, brilliant, and Rimmer starts off brilliant. He's like got stripes in his show, he's like really high up and kind of respected by everyone, and then by the end of it, his kind of his depression has kind of come forward, and it starts moulding the game towards that. So he loses all his money. He ends up in a horrid marriage that he doesn't want to be in. He's got kids crying. He's an alcoholic. And then he starts dragging Lister into it as well, and Kat into it. And they're just all then miserable because of him. And he ruins the game. But I just wondered if anything was kind of in the back of their mind thinking, how could we make this kind of fit? And yeah, the VR game kind of makes sense that Better Than Life existed in the series, so it's a similar idea.
Yeah, I don't remember that episode, but I guess so. Yeah,
but going back to what we were saying then, where do you think Red Dwarf started going downhill? I mean, and that's a hard thing to say, because ultimately I still love Red Dwarf very, very much. Even the later stuff, I still have love for it. I don't think it's as good, but I don't think it's terrible. I just think it's starting to go away from what genuinely was very clever and very funny.
I don't know whether there's any bit where I'd go, oh, it started to get bad. I just think when it came back, I actually wasn't that really fussed about watching it. when I knew that it was going to be, it was a Dave thing, I was like, oh, I'm not going to have much. Okay, it's a free-to-air channel, but I didn't have any way of recording it at the time. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to watch it when it's on. I've got to wait for a repeat of it.
Well, this is it. I only got to watch these, I guess, initially on VHS, and then good old, again, BBC Two.
Yeah.
It would have been BBC Two, and it was, I think, what was their comedy night? Was it a Thursday night sci-fi? So they used to have Friday night was comedy, and you had things like the Far Show on. Thursday nights, I think, used to be kind of the sci-fi. So you had Star Trek, you had Sliders, and then I think later into the evening, you then had Red Dwarf. I'd need to double check. It might have even been on Friday night then. But yeah, I got to see the reruns then. And then obviously, as I got older, I then got the ability to start watching the seasons as they came out, which for me, I'm just looking here, I think it was going to be, season 6, which was released 93. I think those are the first ones I remember watching on TV. Maybe not so much, maybe one or two of them, but I definitely had season 6 on VHS. And I remember buying it from W.H. Smith's in Watford. It was a summer holiday trip, as always. Mum used to take us on summer holidays, and we'd go the day shopping. And we'd go and walk around the Harlequin. It was a day out, wasn't it? And back then, you had lots more shops that were much more interesting in my opinion. And I remember that you can buy one video from W.H. Smith's, and I bought that season on VHS and went back and remembered watching it over and over again. And even then, looking at that series now, so season 6 is Sirens, and this is the first season where they wake up and they've lost Red Dwarf. And you've got Sirens, you've got Legion, you've got Gunmen of the Apocalypse, Emo Hawk Polymorph 2, Rimmer World, and Out of Time. Out of all of them, I think Rimmer World is the funniest. And I think it's probably season 6 that I start thinking things are starting to go downhill.
Yeah.
And it would be a further 4 years until season 7 came along with Ticket to Ride, Stoke Me a Clipper, and that's when they brought back Kachansky. So they got rid of Rimmer. Chris Barry wasn't in it much. And yeah, you ended up with episode Blue, which is the one where they bring up the roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I love that.
With little Rimmer marching.
Yeah.
Arnold Rimmer then. And so on and so on. And that's what ends in Red Dwarf being recreated.
Right.
And that's when the old Holly comes back from the look of it. And then, series 8 is when they're in the Red Dwarf and in prison. And 99, wow. Later than I thought.
Yeah.
But not as late as I thought as well, because I would have been watching that on, maybe that wasn't the BBC then, 99.
It would have still been on the BBC in 99, I think.
Yeah, when did digital TV come in? Because I was very early to the digital TV world. I went to, shows you how classy, my parents wouldn't let me have a TV aerial in my room. So I had a little portable TV, and it had one of those little round metal aerials on top. And it was okay. Didn't get me great reception. So I remember walking into town, walking into Wilkinson's because that had newly opened, bought an aerial kit, climbed, and my room had a loft hatch, climbed into the loft, strapped that aerial to a loft beam with duct tape, then ran the cable out. First time I'd done a coaxial cable, ran it to my TV, perfect signal, loved it, absolutely brilliant. Fun fact, it's still in that room, and my nephew uses it to watch TV, and it still works perfectly.
Oh, wicked.
Which is just, it's proper kind of ghetto technology style there. But it worked, really liked it, went back to town for some reason, and I saw this thing called a digital TV receiver, and it's like, oh no, that was it. The TV aerial said, designed for analog and digital TV, and it's like, what's digital? So I went back, and I think I paid 50 quid for this it was a semicircle kind of thing with a giant cable out there. Went back, stabbed it in, and got all of these weird extra digital channels as they were back then. Bugger all on them, but yeah, that was just the introduction to it. I'm just wondering when Dave first appeared and when Back in the Red aired.
We had an aerial on the TV, and my dad, at some point, who fucking knows when, had an aerial guy come and wire every room. And the way they'd done it was you had a weird socket on the windowsill. Did you ever see that? So the guy had obviously gone and brought the cable in through the bloody window kind of frame to this little piece. And I've worked on it since, particularly one in their bedroom. The cable's so fucking short. It was impossible to work with.
You can't do anything with it, can
and
you?
like they had like little resistors in, and to make him work with magic eyes, you had to cut the little resistor off and try and like solder bits together. I had to like change them and repair loads of them. Anyway, that's a different story. But I think it was called Play TV, which was a digital receiver that you'd attach to your PlayStation. So then you could record onto your hard drive of your PlayStation. And I got that way later on. Like, as I said, I couldn't record Dave and stuff at the time to watch those ones.
Yeah,
but,
so Dave appeared in 98, apparently.
Did it?
As part of the UK Gold sort of things. So actually,
Maybe I
been
could
around a
record it,
lot.
just didn't.
Been around a lot longer than I thought.
Is it still around now?
It's now called You and Dave, I believe. It doesn't say. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia here to see if it was.
Yes, isn't that what Taskmaster's from, Dave?
No, that's Channel 4. Taskmaster. Dave...
I thought it was originally on Dave.
Oh, no, I think it was always a Channel 4 thing. Dave just shows whatever it can get its hands on.
Oh, maybe that's why.
It used to show Top Gear over and over again.
Yeah, it did,
you could kind of guarantee whatever time of day it was, you know what it was. So if it was the morning, it would be Top Gear. If it was the afternoon, it would be quiz shows. If it was the evening, it was comedy shows.
Well, if you think, I imagine that's how quite a lot of those channels would have started by just buying up the rights to show good shows or popular shows, have them on constantly, get the ad revenue in, and then start making their own.
Yeah, I just can't remember whether Series 8 was the BBC or whether it was Dave or it was the next seasons after that were Dave, because there was very specific series made for Dave.
Yeah.
That the BBC were involved in, but weren't, if you get what I mean. Anyway, we've kind of gone on a tangent there, which is a tangential podcast.
Yeah.
I still love Red Dwarf. Everything about it is brilliant. The 2 episodes we chose, I think, were some of the best ones out there. If I had the chance to choose a different episode, I might do. Actually. There are so many good ones. I mean, didn't you had a list at one point, didn't you?
I've got them on my phone, yeah.
Yeah. What were your favourite ones?
Let me bring it up on here. So I'm too far away from the microphone. Sorry, everybody. I've got. Well, these aren't my favourites. Just ones that notable ones. So season 5 episode 4, Quarantine. The virus makes them go mad.
Yeah.
And there's a great scene with Rimmer kind of dressed up as a little schoolgirl with a little duck or something.
Yeah. Mr. Fleur. Is it Mr. Fleur?
Well, the duck's name.
It's Mr. Floppy, isn't it?
Something like that.
Goodness. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah.
Season 6, episode 4, Rimmer World. You go through it. Rimmer goes through a wormhole. Everyone follows him, and it takes them 600 extra years to get there. And the whole planet's now populated with Rimmer clones.
Yeah.
So it's good. And season 7, episode 5 is called Blue, which you said. And it's just because I like the ride, the Arnold Rimmer ride. They're the ones that I happened to write down on here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just from the first 6 series. I'm going to just choose one from each series. Season 1, obviously the first season, difficult because it's still building up on the characters as we know them. And it is a very raw season. It's very funny, but it is very different to all the seasons we got after that.
Yeah.
Confidence and Paranoia from season 1. Absolutely brilliant portrayal from so many different actors in there. Lister gets sick and... his confidence, his paranoia become real life people walking around the ship. And it's just the confidence keeps killing things and paranoia keeps telling him, oh no, you're not good enough, are you? And confidence kills paranoia. Very, very clever episode, really good. Season 2, a little bit more difficult. You've got Better Than Life, so I was right, it is the second series. Thanks for the Memories, a really nice one because... they basically get pissed up on, I think it's Rimmer's death day, and they give Rimmer Lister's memory of his first kiss or something to try and make Rimmer happy. That's just a really nice episode. It's a very funny one because they wake up and they've all got things like, I think Lister's got the cat's got a broken foot and various things. No one remembers why because they've wiped their memory of it, all of these things. Season 3 now, we talked about Polymorph. Looking at what's on season 3, I'd almost say, actually, I think as much as I loved Polymorph and it's the rated highest on IMDb, Time Slides from that series is just a brilliant episode. And I almost regret not choosing that one. And basically, they find some mutated film negative processing liquid, and it makes all the pictures that's processed with it come alive. And if they put it on the projector, they can walk into that scene. And Reimer eventually persuades him from his younger life to create the tension sheet rather than Thicky Holden, and it changes the timeline. And it all goes back to normal at the end. But again, brilliant episode, and probably a bit stronger than the Polymorph one. Season 4, lot to it. I would go with DNA just because Crichton becomes human. Really good episode. 5, just speeding this up a little bit. I'll stick with Back to Reality with what you've chosen, because actually it's between that and Quarantine for that episode, for that season. And then season 6, as I say, this is where it gets a little bit rough for me, and I didn't enjoy it as much. Either Legion or Gunman of the Apocalypse. Gunman of the Apocalypse is where they get hit with a virus and Crichton decides to plug himself in and they turn it into a game. Again, a bit like VR from the other one. Whereas Legion, they come across another ship and he's built up of all of them and he just doesn't want them to leave. But that's again, very good.
That's what the built up with either Crichtons.
So no, Legion, he's a character. So they arrive on the ship and he appears and he's like, oh no. And he knows what makes all of them happy. And so when they knock his face off, he's part of all 4 of them. And that's why he doesn't want them to leave. And I think they really realize we've got to knock you all out. But Rimmer's hard light beam means they can't knock him out. They keep trying to knock him out with like this giant polystyrene, which is meant to be kind of marble statue, but they can't.
There is an episode where it's all Crichtons on the ship, right? Different, like a woman Crichton and a different kind of Crichton.
So there's a couple. So there's Camille. He comes across a female version of a Crichton unit, but that is because Camille is a shapeshifter, and you see what you want to see. So Crichton sees a female unit, Lister sees a sexy version of a Lister woman, Rimmer sees a sexy hologram woman instead, and a pleasure Gelf, I think he calls it. So again, related to Gelfs later on, and it just turns out she looks like a giant lump of snot. In her true form. And then the other bits you kind of see is when he goes to see his heads, because he's got lots of different heads in a cupboard and they've all gone a little bit strange from rot. There's a lot to it. It's one of the best British comedies out there. Even now, I would say it beats a hell of a lot of what comes onto our TV nowadays.
Agreed.
What are these guys gonna do to us?
Whatever it takes to find out about the paddle.
Hey, if you mean torture, then say the word torture. I can take it.
Okay, they may torture us.
Hey, torture!
They probably won't, man. They're probably not even interested in the paddle. They'll just take us outside and execute us.
You're just saying that to make me feel better.
So, sorry everyone, that's another long one.
I think this is just going to be a long show each time.
Yeah, it is, I guess. A bit up and down. So, what are we going to watch next week? You've chosen something for us for next episode.
I need to get back into IMDb. Should be sponsoring this, I think.
They should do.
Right, we are going to watch the Quatermass Experiment, and I need to just quickly double check which one we are going to be watching. We are going to be watching Quatermass Experiment, the 1955 version, which is the black and white film. It's the first time we're going to be venturing into the world of old school sci-fi. So bear in mind this is 1955. Just stick with it because it is a absolutely fantastic film. If anything, you could almost go for it's a sci-fi horror, and actually IMDb list it as space sci-fi, horror sci-fi. It's very of its time. I guess you could almost say it's a British version of The Thing, almost, if The Thing was to land in a populated area instead.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that. Now, I will need to obviously get you my copy of it so you can see it, because it's not on streaming anywhere as normal. And it is spelt Quatermass, for Quatermass, and experiment is experiment without an E at the front. Because
so it's trendy.
It's trendy, mate. They
Right.
quote him as experiment.
Experiment. Very iPhone.
Very, very, very much so.
Wicked.
It's a small off-duty Czechoslovakian traffic warden.
There you are. I've been looking everywhere for you.
Oh, yeah. Hi, mate.
You know we're late for our shift in engineering.
Huh?
Engineering, spaceship, our job. Any of this ring a bell?
Saying engineering makes it sound way cooler than it is.
It is cool. It's our first day shift. That isn't scrubbing floors.
Dude, we're changing biopacks in Jeffrey's Tube 84. It's hardly an engineering shift.
Okay, fine, but it's our first day shift.
Yay.
Fuck me.
Why do we even have biopacks? Didn't they learn anything from Voyager?
Are you implying Starfleet learns anything from past mistakes? Have you read any of the captain's logs since Kirk?
No, nor did anyone else by the sound of things.
Touché. Anyway, what are you doing?
Just stuff.
Stuff?
You know, sci-fi stuff. You wouldn't understand.
Cheeky prick. Try me.
Well, after all that stuff that we aren't meant to talk about, but do talk about, but only when the thing that we can't talk about can't be heard by people who don't know the thing that we can't talk about happened, I've been wondering, what if things were different? What if none of those things that we can't talk about, but do talk about, but only when the thing we can't talk about can't be talked about?
I get it.
Oh, right, okay, well, because of that, I've made this. It's a quantum time field manipulating mirror, created using hyperactive mycelium spores that react violently when adjacent to negative quark variants at a temperature of 8,000 Kelvin.
You're right. I don't understand. But the word violent sounds ominous.
Don't worry about it. Look. Put this watch on.
What's this for?
With that on your wrist, it rephases the wearer to match other dimensions, and when phased correctly, the user can then look into the mirror and glimpse other dimensions. Without it, it just looks like a normal mirror.
How the fuck did you figure this out?
Follow the tutorial on TrekTube. You can find anything on there. You know, there's this wicked channel on there where this guy and his girlfriend get stalked by some random alien, and then they have to keep changing planets to escape.
That sounds so shit.
Don't knock it till you've tried it.
Right then. Watch is on. What do I do?
Hang on. Let me get mine on. Right, okay, right, ready, right. Now turn the outer ring to any number you like. Then you press the big red screen in the middle. You'll then rephase and hopefully the mirror will show us something.
Will you see it?
Yep, I paired the watches so whatever one setting is, the other will match and we should both be able to see what's going on.
Cool.
Just one thing, don't break the glass when the system's active.
Why?
Oh no, I skipped that bit of the video anyway. Go on, give it a spin.
Look, it's us.
Ha! It works! What are we doing?
It looks like we're on an away mission.
Nice! We never get to go on away missions.
Wait, hang on.
Oh no.
We've got red uniforms on.
Shit, quick, change it.
It looks like you stepped in something. Oh, now we appear to be arguing. Is there no sound?
It's just a mirror, mate. No audio.
There's some kind of giant green blob appearing out of the ground. It's got you.
Yeah, I'll change the dial.
It's slamming you on the ground.
Change the dial.
Over and over and over and over and over and over.
Change the fucking dial. Oh, for fuck's sake, I'll do it.
Boo.
Oh, shut up, knobhead.
Oh, look, it's Admiral Chester's.
Is that a crown on her head?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Why is everyone bowing to her?
Oh, sweet sword.
That's Adam. What's he kneeling at her feet for?
She putting that sword into the fire.
Ah! fucking burned his face off.
What the fuck?
Well, that was fucked up.
Look, it's me, and I'm Captain.
Oh, wicked.
And I'm kissing to Pole?
You fucking what? Let me see, you wanker.
Don't. I'm watching this. Don't change the dial.
Get off
No.
me! To Pole's mine!
You fucking idiot.
Me? You're the fucking idiot.
It's pulling us in.
Social media, that's X, Twitter, Blue Sky, anything else, carrier pigeon, what fucking ever, on @_Untitled Sci-fi Show. You can email us at podcasts@channel84.co.uk. You can email me, Rob, @channel84.co.uk, and TJ, I nearly got it wrong again, TJ @channel84.co.uk. We are part of the Studio Channel 84 collection of indie podcasts. You can also listen to Karen and Adam at The Lightly Used, and Simon and Ross at Who Takes the Socks Off, and I Didn't Fuck It Up.
Whoa!
Thank you very much. Send your answers for the 6 sci-fi items in, or shows, I should say, in Guess the Intro. Now, is this the one I'm thinking of? I'm just going to very quickly check my notes, because I have a slightly special Guess the Intro coming up. Is it this one? No, episode 6 is the next one. Yeah, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 in this one for you to get, and that's it. Thank you very much. Remember, email or DM me on one of the socials. If you get them all right, get a shout out.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Sci-Fi Show. This station is now shutting down and will be back in 2 weeks. May the Force live long and prosper inside of you. This was a Studio Channel 84 network show. To find more, head over to channel84.co.uk now.
I think we're all beginning to lose sight of the real issue here, which is, what are we going to call ourselves? And I think it comes down to a choice between the League Against Salivating Monsters or my own personal preference, which is the Committee for the Liberation and Integration of Terrifying Organisms and their Rehabilitation into Society. One drawback with that, the abbreviation is clitoris.